Hey guys. Hey guys, it's Jen from beautyriotx, and we're currently in a bit of a quarantine, right? Let me know where you are and what you've been doing. So today I thought we would talk about some of my favorite brushes. This is my current favorite bundle of brushes. This is where I keep them, right on my desk right here. These aren't all my favorite. I'm just gonna pull out the ones that I love. And I'm going to repeat certain words because they're brushes, so there's only so many ways to describe them. So if you hear me repeat, this does this and it's amazing because of this a few times, well, that's just is the way it is. So actually we'll start with eye brushes and then finish with face brushes. I'm just gonna kind of pull them out in the order that I use them. And the one that I 9 times out of 10 start with is the Morphe M433. And I know that I did say in a recent video that I wouldn't be talking about Morphe and Jack on Hill or anything anymore. I do like Morphe brushes. I'm not gonna be reviewing their makeup or talking about their makeup anymore, but I do like their brushes. This is the M433. I don't know the name of it, like what the name, like is it a blending brush? I don't know. But this is always, like I said, 9 times out of 10, my very first brush that I reach for when I'm applying that first light shade, I guess. But it's the very first brush that I grab to pack color on, and that's exactly what I do with it. Once in a while, I'll use it for like blending or whatever, but I love this for packing those light colors on. It's one of those ones that are kind of wide and then thin when you turn them on their sides. So it packs it down for you. Does give you some control like when blending, but with light shades, like the first ones you would put on higher up on your lid, this just does a seamless job, and it does exactly what I need it to do. That's something else I'm gonna say a million times. It does what I need it to do. God, I'm so annoying. The next is usually, because I can actually sometimes use this for an entire eye look, but if I'm not, this will come next, and this is the Smith 230 brush. And as you can see, it's kind of circular all the way around. It's like a small blending brush. And let me just say, I used to be so anti-white bristle brushes, but I used to be so against these because I'm like, they're scratchy and I don't like them. No, I love these kind of brushes. Now, white bristles like draw my attention from the get-go. This I will use for that second, slightly darker shade and start that transition from light to dark. And I'll use this right under my brow bone, kind of, again, just to kind of start that gradient that usually happens when you apply eyeshadow. Yeah, I love this. Smith brushes are kind of pricey, but I get them from Camera Ready Cosmetics, and if you're a pro, whether it be makeup artist or hairstylist, you can get a pro account and get a discount on these. But even if you can't, this site offers Afterpay, so you don't have to pay like the whole sum at once. So that's always a good option if you don't want to just flat out pay, you know, $20-something for this. The next one, and this is a newer one, it's the Morphe Jeffree Star JS6 brush. Again, I don't actually know the name of it, but it kind of has that same idea. It's wide and then thin on the side. And again, this is really good for packing those darker colors on in the crease. Sometimes I'll use it obviously to do a little bit of blending, but these two are usually like pretty good if I have to like blend something out. But this is good for packing. It's thin, it's small, so you can get a lot. It's like good for those really dark colors that can get really messy if you're not careful, or if your brush is too big, or if it's too soft, it's gonna go everywhere. This is great for kind of precision. This one. This is the Smith 235. When I first got this and I opened it, I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? I hated the shape of it because it was wide how I liked, but it comes up to like a bit of a point, and then again, it's thin on the sides. Oh my God, this is an amazing crease brush. I can't even take it. This is what I use for the crease when I want to put that really dark shade down, patting it, packing it into the crease, and then blending it onto the bottom of your lid for like a smoky look. Like when you went darker on the edges or the outside and then a little lighter on the inside. This is a phenomenal brush. I recommend all of these brushes, but I highly recommend this one. I will absolutely repurchase if by some chance like I lose it, or if, you know, the bristles end up wearing really bad and like 10 years goes by and it's not the same brush. Like I will absolutely rebuy this as many times as I need to. This is one that we actually got in our Ipsies. This is one of my favorite brushes ever. This is perfect for packing color onto your lid. Again, it's kind of wide, slightly ovaled at the top, like slightly elevated at the top middle. and then again thin on the sides. It looks like such a cheap, shitty brush. Oh, it's the SLMissGlam SB68 brush. It looks so cheap and like crappy, and sure, it kind of is, but man, this is an incredible brush. I've already bought like 2 backups from people who didn't want theirs. Like I found on Poshmark, they came in their sealed packages. I have 2 backups because I'm weird. It actually can, you know, blend really well into the crease. But for me, because I have hooded lids, I can only go up so far with this before it starts getting kind of messy and I can't control where everything goes. Amazing though, I love this brush. This is a newer brush, but I really do like it. This is the S175 Cozzette brush. Again, I can't remember exactly what it's for, but it's kind of like a crease brush, and it's very similar to the Scott Barnes 62 brush, which everybody is like butt crazy over, but I don't really get it. This is great for crease blending. It's a little bit softer than any of the white bristled brushes. Great crease brush, really nice and soft. It's good for like diffusing. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's really nice. I think it's a good alternative to the Scott Barnes if you don't want to pay that price. Again, you can get this on Camera Ready Cosmetics as well. Also a really nice brush. This is from Profusion, and this is their Firm Blending Eyeshadow ES2 brush. Okay, so it's kind of the same idea. I use a lot of these kind of brushes, obviously. Kind of wide, a little bit elevated towards the top of the bristles, and then on the side, it's flat. I feel like it's most comparable to this Jeffree Star Morphe one. I don't know what kind of bristles, but they're the softer bristles. Really nice for blending. It's a little bit bigger than this one, so you can get a little bit more area covered with this, but really nice more so for blending, not necessarily too much for packing. It will pack some, but for some reason the white bristled ones just hold more pigment on them. These, I guess maybe because they're softer, they're just not holding as much. But either way, a really nice brush and super affordable too. Again, this is Profusion and it's the ES2 brush. Now we're getting down to like the lower lash line. I found this mofo at Marshall's about 2 months ago, maybe even more, maybe 3 months ago. It's the NARS, and I'll have to write the rest on the screen. This is a wonderful brush. I figured it was kind of more for like smoking out like your lash line up here. I don't really do that though, so I use it for that first dark shade that I would apply under my lashes, like as close to my lashes as possible. I use this brush for that. The angle is perfect on it for this part of your eye. It blends really nicely. They're black bristles, so they're not super tough or anything, but super nice brush. If you see NARS brushes at your Marshalls or TJ Maxx, buy it. Again, another Profusion brush. This is one of the ones that come in their palettes. So if you have one of their palettes, you most likely already have this brush. It doesn't even say what it's called, but it's their dual ended brush. It has like a blending side here and then like a small, again, that same kind of shape that I really like, kind of wide and then thin on the side. This I'll use kind of like this, but this is more precise and it's a little cleaner to work with. Like this tends to be, if I want a more smoked out kind of darkness under my eyes, I'll use this instead of this. Profusion has incredible brushes. I highly recommend them. Again, bottom of the lashes. Again, lower lashes. This is what I use to buff out those lighter shades to really smoke my under eye out. This is the F.A.R.A.H short shading brush. And again, same kind of shape, but this is super duper soft. We got this either in BoxyCharm or Ipsy, like in a pack of them. This is the only one I still use, but it's literally like it's what I use every single day to smoke out my lower lash line. It's perfection, super soft. It diffuses and buffs beautifully. And then the last one for the eyes is from Morphe, and this is the M213. And this tiny little brush right here is what I would usually use to either put a halo eye on. I mostly use it for inner corner highlights. It's just kind of the perfect shape, and my fingers are kind of big just to plop right there, and sometimes it gets a little messy if it's like a kind of bright or messy color. So this is just kind of nice for that precise inner corner work. My last one is the buffing brush I use just kind of all over to buff any edges out. This is the Smith 232 brush, and it's just a larger circular blending brush, like crease brush. I highly recommend these Smith brushes. Actually, in the beginning I was having an issue because they recommend that you don't use the Cinema Secrets brush cleaner for those Smith brushes because they can dry them out and even make them break, like the bristles. I still use it because this is the best like brush cleaner that I can use. I can use the brushes within a few seconds after cleaning them. So what I actually do is I just put a little bit of this on like whatever, a towel or something, a clean towel, and then I will take my Smith brushes and just lightly go like this instead of dipping them in how you normally would to make this work. Yeah, so that kind of works a little better and gives them a little more, it gives them a little more of a shelf life, I guess. I do actually have a Smith brush, my first one that I ever bought from them, and I mean, this kind of destroyed the entire brush. I don't even use it anymore because the bristles are not incredibly sparse now, but they've definitely, they've gotten to the point where it's not the same brush anymore. And now we'll go on with base brushes. So, all right, so powder brush. This is easy. This is the Kensie, I don't know what kind of brush this is, but it's that perfect, fluffy, big, lightly packed brush for distributing loose powder or any kind of powder. But the reason I like this so much is because it's not dense, it's not packing my face and making it look crazy matte or crazy powdery. It just gives a nice dusting because I like light powder. I don't like going crazy with powder, so I don't use a sponge. I don't use like the pads that come with the compacts. I always use like a fluffy brush because I just want as little powder as possible, but still kind of mattifying a little bit, keeping the oil from coming out, that kind of thing. But I love this brush. I think it was like $5 from TJ Maxx or Marshall's. The next would be bronzing, and this is the Japonesque. It's basically a dupe for that famous NARS brush. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. This is fantastic. Found it at Marshall's. It was like $5.99. I'm sure normally it's like $15 or $20, but I'm not paying that and I don't feel comfortable stealing, so amazing. Fabulous, fits perfectly right here under your cheekbone. This is what I use to powder under my eye or to set under my eye. So what I would normally do is, I say normally, I'll grab whatever loose powder I'm using that day. So we'll say the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder in light. I have a little bit that I empty into the cap. And then I'll kind of move this all around so it's distributed and I'm not just hunkering down a ton of powder under my eyes. Because powder just makes you look a million years old. So I try to be as careful and sparing with it as possible while still setting my under eyes because I have to. Yeah, this is the Morphe E48, but great for setting under the eye. It's perfect, it fits nice, it's my jam. Next is blush, and this is the Sigma F40 Large Angled Contour Brush. You can use it for whatever you want, but I use it for blush. I love any kind of brush that's shaped this way for blush. It's not hard or scrapey or dry in any way. It's a really beautiful, really nice brush. Sigma has really nice brushes. I won this from one of Trend Mood's holiday giveaways. I'm a big fan of this one. Next, I have two highlighter brushes that I really like. The first is from Morphe. It's the R36 brush. And again, white bristle brush. There's just like, it's like a big fluffy blending brush. It's perfect for this part of your face, nose, all that stuff. This is usually the one I use the most. This is a newer one. It's slightly softer, but does an equally really nice job. This is the Profusion Flat Setting Powder Brush PD5. I guess you could also use this like under your eye and stuff, but I have so many brushes, like I'd give them all jobs. So again, it's kind of the wide and then thin on the side, but yeah, again, it's just for your cheeks. So these are just kind of honorable mentions that I have enjoyed, but I haven't used them enough to have an opinion on them. So we'll call them like honorable mentions, and ones that are coming up. So if you want to see me use them, yeah. This is the Alamar Bronzer brush. Again, it's supposed to be for bronzer, but it has that weird kind of texture on top. And I feel like this would be a really good foundation brush. It's kind of dense, but not overly so. But it was fine for the bronzer, but I still want to try it for foundation. I used like a cream bronzer too for this. I don't know if I would want to use powder with this because it's flat and I don't know. I feel like that would be too much. But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying this. The next is this Sephora PRO Domed Stippling brush, number 41. Jessica Braun raves about this for her bronzer brush, like a cream bronzer brush. And I found it at TJ Maxx for like $7.99. And normally it's like $20 or $30. It was on sale at Sephora for a little while. I think they might be sold out now, but I was like, shit, I need to try this. It's only $7.99, sold. Yeah, so I think I did try it once and it was okay, but I think I just have to keep trying to see what way it works for me. But I should look up actually what it's for because that would be interesting as well. The next is another one I found at Marshall's. This is the hakuho-do Sephora Pro collab brush that they came out with like years ago. Pretty sure this was like $5.99. It came in like a beautiful leather box. I don't know how people leave stuff like this sitting at TJ Maxx and Marshall's. Like I look around to see like who's watching, who's gonna grab this out of my hands. Never mind. Can't remember exactly what it's for. I think it's a bronzer brush or a powder brush of some kind. So I'm still kind of messing around with it. But if you have this, what do you use it for? Let me know. The last is a brush by e.l.f. I don't have a ton of e.l.f. I don't have any e.l.f. brushes. This is the only one, I think. This is the e.l.f. 105 brush. Samantha Ravndal, I feel like she uses this for a ton of stuff, like even foundation. I thought this would be good again for cream bronzer, but I have to try it more. Really nice brush, really soft, good quality. I have to play around a little bit more with it, but these are ones that like I want to try more because I want to love them. So if you have any of these, let me know how you use them and how you like them. I think that's it. I mean, yeah, there's no other like important brushes except like your eyebrow brush and stuff, but nobody gives a shit about that. But yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite brushes below. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Are you done?
I am.